Have you watched any of the new Daily Show with Jon Stewart?
I make fun of it.
He's hosting on Mondays. It's great. You don't
what do
like
you mean
it?
great? Like great how?
Like it's just what we used to love.
It's funny and it's good. Were you a fan of the Daily Show back in the day or no? Like the Jon Stewart.
I actually liked. I actually liked Colbert better.
Me too.
Because and I know. And here's why. Here's why.
But you mean the Colbert Report, not yes. Whatever this shit.
But the reason was because at the old Daily Show, I don't know who the guy is, but I've been at the Emmys with all the writers were there. There was this one guy who was like a crazy guy that knew everything. Because I was like, who watches the news to get these clips? Mm-hmm. And that guy went to the Colbert Report.
Yeah.
Okay. But now, because I do Jimmy Dore show 3 times a week, and I have PTSD every single day from like the actual news.
From being raped by Jimmy Dore.
And also the constant rape. Well, I just look at it as
he's like, you gotta help. Oh, my legs aren't working. You gotta come help me with them. My back's acting up.
Look.
Just abusing you like a fat person.
I'm not like one of these Zoomer chicks.
Kurt, come in here. My legs are acting up again.
Look, if I
need you to wash my penis with your mouth.
Look, if it was my idea to do it, I don't call it a rape. That's bottom line. I asked for it. I wanted it. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, it's like more of a
no.
You're bottoming. You're topping from the bottom kind of situation.
Because we're covering actual real news.
Yeah.
When I watch somebody like Jon Stewart, who's like smart enough to know better than the dumb shit, like Bill Maher doesn't know anything. Bill Maher and Kid Rock have the same knowledge of the world as Chelsea Handler. Yeah. They're all smarter than De Niro. De Niro, I watched Bill Maher asking Robert De Niro what he thinks about.
But he's Robert De Niro. Why?
Yeah.
It's
like if the guy from Being There, remember Being There with Peter Sellers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Imagine if that guy, Chauncey
Gardner,
if instead of just saying gardening terms that you mistake as intelligent, he actually did try to talk about real politics.
Yeah.
And it's Bill Maher's fault for talking to him. But Bill Maher doesn't know shit about shit. Jon Stewart, I already know from talking to people that work for him. So Jon Stewart, he did that great kind of goes, we know it came from a lab, and Colbert got freaked out.
Right.
Jon Stewart got punished for that in a big way. That's why he had to hang a medal on a Nazi at Disney World.
What?
You don't know this?
No.
Yeah, nobody knows anything.
They made him hang I don't
know. Dude, it's the funniest.
All I said is that he's funny.
Yeah, he's just doing a new hour.
All I said is the Daily Show.
But the thing is,
good at that job.
It's not. It would be funny if he was talking about anything that was real, but he won't. So his jokes, dude, his fucking shit he said, because when Tucker went to Russia, which is, by the way, doing better than ever, thanks to, great job, everyone. This fuckwit goes, oh, their subway's nicer? Yeah, ours is urinal cakes or whatever, but that's the price of freedom. You didn't see that?
When Tucker went to Russia? Or
Jon Stewart criticizing
North
him.
Korea. Oh.
Tucker was being embarrassing, though. He was smelling the bread and saying how much better the bread smelled.
Well, it's embarrassing because you live in a shithole called New York. That's way worse than Russia.
I go to the best restaurants in the world.
Russia seems like it's fucking lame to me.
Yeah, it seems like it's black and white.
Dude, I gotta tell you,
I don't give a fuck about Ukraine, but also fuck Russia.
I'm not even saying this in a political sense.
I've never cared about any of them, but just
New
so
York
you know,
is a nice place.
Okay, look, here, look. Let me explain real quick.
Okay.
I don't give a shit about any of them. Okay, never gave a shit. But literally every single thing, and especially Jon Stewart and the others that they talk about going on there, is completely wrong and a lie. I mean everything. So if you know that it's a fucking lie and you're watching a guy you think is funny and knows shit, doesn't know anything, and is gonna on purpose not learn anything on a news show, it makes me go like, fuck you. You understand? So that's why it's not funny to me, because it's so, like you're just...
What did Jon Stewart lie about though with Ukraine?
He didn't lie. He was just showing clips from Tucker and making jokes.
By the way,
I have no interest in defending. I'm genuinely.
First of all, for these fucking cunts that live here to be mad that Tucker talked to Putin, is Tucker not qualified to talk to Putin? Is that what it is?
I don't care about that.
Well, why do they care about it? Did you have any idea why?
Because they're the bad guy.
Because Tucker did something. Tucker could interview
the
yellow M&M, and they'd say, "Oh, well, how dare you talk to him? He kills children sometimes."
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's that, though, for sure. But also because...
Why can't it be...
I'll answer you if you let me.
Go ahead.
Okay? You're being, I don't want to compare this to Israeli invasion of something.
A Jew?
He thinks all conversation belongs to him.
No,
yeah, he thinks it's his birthright.
I was just asking.
We invented talking 2,000 years ago.
He thinks it's his birthright. So
we didn't know how to farm, so we wouldn't shut
I watched
up.
the whole fucking Tucker interview with Putin.
I didn't watch it.
Okay,
granted. Yeah.
So this is what a fuckwit, especially here in New York, for a fuckwit country this is. I watch like people talk about like, oh, Putin starts going this long thing about history, and I was like, yeah, of course that seems ridiculous, because listen to Kamala Harris describe what happened. Well, basically, a larger country went to a small country, and that's wrong. That's a quote.
She said that?
Yeah, see, exactly.
Okay.
So,
But she's fucked up on pills all the time.
well, that makes it okay because she's the vice president and Trump is the guy.
Because first of all, this is a country
Yeah,
where,
we
and
love
I mean
Kamala.
this, I mean this, but being a victim of the opiate crisis is the only ethical way to participate in American culture. That's it. So to have somebody in the office of the vice president that's clearly just fucked up on Vicodin 24/7.
You think it's Vicodin? I thought it was alcohol.
I think it's pills. Yeah.
I was hooked on OxyContin for 4 years.
That's
30
di-
milligrams,
that's-
8 pills a day.
That's
Wow.
more though. That's more. That's like serious drugs.
No, Kamala
I'm
Harris
just
is
a
an
little
idiot.
bit
She can't do
Percocets.
anything.
Yeah, just
Biden is dead, but he speaks better than her. When she starts talking,
Yeah.
it sounds like they just told her, like it's a comedy movie where she has to fake she's the vice president. You got to talk about the situation, whatever. So we're here at the place where we are and doing the thing that we do. Okay, thanks.
To me, that's awesome. This is somebody that polled at what? 1%?
1%. She failed.
She did worse than
Yeah.
milk. She polled at 1%.
But that's
And
why-
then fucking still gets to be the vice president.
Well,
and then
because
she's getting fucked up
And
all
why
the
is she
time?
the vice president? Because of forced diversity in gaming.
In gaming.
She's like a
Because of
sweet baby character.
Grand
in
Theft
certain-
Auto. Yeah.
But there's a certain level of people being incompetent when I'm like, you know what? Good for you.
But isn't that traditionally, besides Cheney, like the vice president
you're
has to do the
look,
most shit jobs, right? The vice president, like Biden sent her to the border. He's like, yeah, go fix that. Ha
Yeah.
ha ha ha. You know,
Okay, well,
it's kind of like mayor of New York. No one ever likes the mayor.
very
of New York.
obviously, if you watch Biden or even talking like, oh, the
Yeah.
president is in charge of nothing. The only reason
Sure.
Trump got in, and this isn't a conspiracy, it's in Hillary's emails. That they said on TV, don't read them. It's like looking at their revenge porn. If you
Yeah,
read her
yeah.
emails, if
Yeah.
you didn't look at them, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah.
you don't care about it, that's fine. But
Yeah.
if you care about, why didn't you look at it? You should. You don't want to know what's in there. Well, what's in there is the Pied Piper strategy. They wanted Trump to run again. Nobody wanted to vote for Hillary. Okay,
Sure.
Except the kind of demented broads that freeze their eggs and live in New York. that
Yeah.
We all know very
Spider
well.
women.
Yeah,
Spider women that find her inspiring, that kind of demented fucking slag. So to force you, the big idea was to force people to vote for Hillary because Trump is so objectionable,
Yeah.
Sure.
okay? And it backfired big time.
Yeah.
And I remember watching people flip the fuck, and I was here when people couldn't believe. Jenna Friedman was on Race Wars.
Yeah.
Well, I like
Election night, that was one of the. Were you with us?
Oh yeah, I was
that
at the
fucking
Tampa
bar,
thing.
and people are like, "Can you not speak right now?"
was the
Telling white guys
funniest.
that we're not allowed to speak.
Will said.
So
Will
do you
said
know what that
something really
is?
funny. It was like there's this picture of like the French the day after the Nazis occupied France, and they're just like in Paris, and they're just like looking at the Nazi officers like we have lost France. But that was
Can
like
we still fuck kids?
that was Brooklyn.
One of our
the
friends
night.
gave like $50 to a homeless black.
It was
Remember
more than that. It was like $250.
It was insane. The
No,
night
he
Trump-
wasn't
our friend-
homeless. He wasn't homeless.
Oh, he wasn't even homeless.
He wasn't
Our
homeless.
friend
A
just
black guy-
gave hundreds of dollars to some black guy because Trump won on the street.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, okay," and he took it, and then he turned in the bar. He's like, "No, I'm not working tonight."
Yeah,
I'm
So,
off."
okay,
he was
that
an employee of the bar.
Yeah.
I can't even call that smart-hearted. That is the original and still the
That
best.
night was the funniest night.
So
of all
that's
time.
Dude, I
stupidity.
kept like looking around like a Felix clock. Like I'm like, are you guys seriously?
we were smoking a cigarette
Okay.
outside. I remember.
like
yeah.
this
So,
is fucking
so look,
insane.
there's nothing dumber than a New York liberal, and LA used to be the dumber place by a lot.
Yeah.
It's not anymore. I'm just here to tell you it's not. And the reason New York is dumber is because, to live,
Shoplifting.
well, but that's we're macrocosm. The reason is to live here. I lived here for 20 years. You lived here a while.
Sure.
To survive here, you have to just not see things in front of your face.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
prison. You want to
Yeah,
dry
yeah.
snitch by like even looking too much.
Yeah.
So just that way of living long enough, now this is the most demented, not looking at reality time I've ever seen in New York ever. Last night I'm sitting there with Che and those SNL
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
They're like uncomfortable talking about the P. Diddy charges. Okay? They don't. We're talking about that bridge thing. They don't know anything, and it's inconvenient. If you bring up a fact,
Yeah.
Like they got to quick make a joke and stomp on it.
You're saying like people are
because-
just looking down, like when they see like someone jacking off on the subway, they're just like,
Dude, it's like my old
Yeah,
joke
yeah.
about where I was like, I'm gonna make eye contact. The guy was fisting his own asshole. And I'm like, whoop, don't do that again.